egg has been planted.
Alpha 3.18 patch watch balancing keys. Additional key bindings. We're currently working on significant changes to the aiming system. Oh, interesting. Again. Which will not debut on Alpha 3.18 but in a later patch. However, several related keybinds will be available in the upcoming release. G key short press will only swap between fixed and auto gimbal. G key long press will activate manual gimbal. Interesting. Additionally, there are now keybinds directly select fixed auto manual gimbals. Maybe someone wants that. But I don't think it's something critical. I think they had a lot of other things to work with the keybinds than this, like hailing keybinds, for example. But again, I don't think it's bad. As long as they give options, not removing something, that's good. I also think the overall swapping between fixed and auto is a good call. The manual gimbal mode long press is all like it's a good call overall. I don't think it was like extremely important, but overall the decision is really good, so I don't kind of mind it. I think manual gimbal is overall a very outdated thing. It's something that should either go away or in future manual gimbal should become something close to auto gimbal, but where you can move the circle by your mouse. I think that's what it should be. Though, don't get me wrong, I'm obviously not saying you should get the same targeting ability as you have with auto gimbal. So it could be a choice. You can move the circle and it will work. The circle will work the same way as auto gimbal circle does. But for example, if you do that, the speed of tracking is different. It's slower, right? So you choose between fixed auto gimbals or gimbaled auto gimbals, but then you have a less tracking ability, right? So it's something to consider for them, I think. Toggle pip type. We will give you an option to toggle between lead and lag pip, giving you more flexibility to adjust your aiming. I'm sorry. What do they mean? We do have this keybind. Sorry, what? I didn't really get this. What will change? We do have a keybind that changes between lead and lag pip. ESP. 2 new hold key bindings. For the pilot and the turret gunner, we will be added to allow you momentarily enable ESP by holding down a button. This is useful for certain joysticks that feature dual stage triggers. Indeed. Allowing the first stage to enable ESP and the second stage to fire weapons. That is interesting. I know what they're going for. I like it. For you to understand what this is, if anyone have flown DCS and A10 in DCS, when you enable the aim assist like that your computer provides in the plane, what would happen? When you slip on the target with your aim, you would press the first trigger and the plane will stabilize, not to get off the target. It's like IRL thing that is in A10. And then when you press the second stage, your chain gun will fire, your GAU-8 will fire. So this is very close to that, but just in Star Citizen realities. I really like that. Some people may just put it, if they're mouse and keyboard, they may just get a modifier for it, maybe right mouse button, whatever they prefer. It would also be usable for that. Like, you can use it. It's harder because like you kind of want to have your secondary mouse button for something else, but it depends on the fly star of a person, because like the second mouse button also goes into the secondary group, right? Or it can go into things like EMPs, any QEDs, whatever. But it's weird though, because I do remember we managed to set that up years ago without this new change. Majority of keybinds overall, the way they work in Star Citizen, they usually have a multi-purpose application, like things like ESP and other things that are turn off, turn on kind of thing. For example, a good example would be a switch to relative from VJoy if you're flying mouse. If you tap that button, you will toggle. If you hold that button, you will go relative only until you hold it. There are some nuances in that. For example, if you want to hold, but you tapped it and didn't hold for like half a second or so, it will still toggle. But overall, that logic has been in Star Citizen for a very long time. And I think the same logic was with the ESP, but probably what they're doing right now is they're removing the toggle error. So they're explicitly setting this to a hold So even if you hold it for a quarter of a second, it will still be considered hold and not go into a toggle mode. So that's good. That actually is really cool. That might create an interesting flight style and just like, not a flight style, but a habit. An interesting habit of enabling ESP only when you want it to be. I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. Stopwatch. We're adding a stopwatch to the flight HUD as a tool for racing community. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. That is really good. That is really good. 2 key bindings are available. Unbound by default. Short press, start and pause, long press, reset. Oh, that is actually sweet. It's no matter that I don't really care about this too much personally. I might actually do some training in flight, like if I manage to get back to stakes, I would use the racing opportunity now in PU to actually increase my flying skills. And I totally love this. The racing community wasn't getting any love for such a long time. I totally feel this was so necessary. The addition of the racetracks inside PU. And this little thing, it's just amazing. I wonder if I can use a stopwatch when I give players a time to respond before we blow them up. And I would ask CAG to actually give me an ability to feed the stopwatch on their screen so they can see how much time they have left. That would be nice. Okay. Balance changes. Ballistic shield penetration. Ballistic shield penetration will be largely increased. Bold, risky move. With this change, even strong shields will only scrub off. Oh, wait, what? Yogi, are you sure about this? Few % of incoming ballistic damage. With this change, even strong shields will only scrub off a few % of incoming ballistic damage. Related but not quite ready for Alpha 3.18, we're looking on weapon diversification, which will strongly influence weapon performance parameters and ammo count. This is planned for a later patch. Okay, so this is not coming into 3.18. No, wait. The ballistic shield penetration is coming to 3.18. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good with the way. The biggest issue with that is Inferno and the ability for you to buy size 4s and above with a lot of ammo. I don't know if they will rebalance the amount of ammo in DBs. It might be a size 4 meta. There are no valid ships if they don't have size 4s, so it's gonna be like Hornets, Cartuals, Buccaneers, Talons. I don't know if this is a good... You cannot judge this without understanding other details. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can put ballistics on any size. It's just a matter of ammo count. It's hard for me to understand what they're trying to achieve with this right now. There is no follow-up in this post which describes the reason for doing so, besides a vaguely understandable thing of an upcoming weapon diversification. My personal thing, they shouldn't have touched ballistics until they implemented armor. And if they did the basic armor implementation the way I see it, like the basic, I'm not saying the final, the basic. So unfortunately we have no details on this. This is a very questionable move. We'll see how it ends up. Well, I mean, in the end of the day, we might end up in a ballistic meta for a patch, kinda whatever. Light fighters will have a harder life, that's all I can say. Health component distortion paths, here we go. The health of items will be increased to have less chance of being immediately destroyed by a single missile hit. Very good. That's nice, I agree with that. Distortion numbers are also changing. Coolers will not be affected by distortion to avoid deadlocking. So when they say deadlocking, we say heat locking. If you remember my distortion video and been around, you know what a heat lock is. It's when you distort the coolers but not the power plant. So coolers go offline and the power plant overheats, and then the only way for it to cool down without the coolers is a passive IR irradiation, which takes infinite amount of time. It's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Depending on the power plant. And then only when it cooled down, it can start up, activate the coolers back, and cool off the entire ship, right? So they removed that because that wasn't probably what they were really looking for with the distortion gameplay. right? And the reason why pirates always try to do the heat lock is because, unfortunately, right now, the state of the game cannot allow them to stop the ship for a certain period of time properly, right? So power plants will not scale down their power output with increased distortion damage, but instead binary shut off once distortion damage is too high. Okay, so probably they don't want to deal with the scale of output decrease right now because that's too complicated. They're making simple solutions. It's kind of okay. I felt the decrease was nice, but I think as a temporary measure, that sounds legit, right? So no more power output scaling, just binary on off. If you get enough distortion, they just shut down, right? Power plants will then take 5 minutes to recover. 5 minutes, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. While powered down, items will not receive any more distortion damage. So basically, you cannot keep the ship infinitely distorted, but you have a very big time frame to do the boarding, right? These are not the final tuning values for distortion. Consider them a temporary measure until we approach related gameplay topics, like slowing down ships. Oh god. Yeah, guys. You see the last words? Don't get overexcited. Don't get overexcited. From this sentence, the last sentence, it means we're probably not gonna get the ships slowing down, okay? Yeah, we just have to kill them anyway. We'll have to like kill them, soft dead them, unfortunately. Alright, mining bug fixes. Mineable gems will be stackable in inventories in Alpha 3.18. The team also added minor improvements to the mining gadget UI before better readability. That's all for the patch. Watch, keep an eye out for more soon. Very nice. Okay, that was a nice read. I liked it a lot. Yeah, so distortions are gonna work. That's nice to hear. Slowing down ships, that's in question. Ballistics was a complete surprise for me. Even as an Evocati, that was a surprise for me. Yeah, we will see. All right, boys, that's it. If you'll watch this on YouTube, like, subscribe, come hang out.